So we're starting, and I want to say welcome to this session. Tonight we're going to be looking at lesson learned. In a project, there's what we call lesson learned. Lesson learned meeting and lesson learned document is very, very important. We make a lot of mistakes in projects, and it's important that whether you are working within agile environment or working within waterfall environment, it's important to capture what we call lesson learned. We call it lesson learned in waterfall environment. If you are working in agile environment, we call it sprint retrospective. So it's a way of looking at what has been going on, where we have erred, where we have sinned in our project, what we didn't get well. So we want to, try to make amend areas we need to improve on. If it's individual improvement, we improve on it as individual. If it's deliverables, we improve. It's a risk to look at holistically areas and we capture it. If you want to make it easier for yourself, you have to be doing it on weekly basis so that you have it ready, so that you should be able to just compile it and present it at the end of the project. Is a must that you need to document lesson learned. You need to call a meeting as a project manager and document lesson learned. So all this lesson learned is a very powerful document that you need to archive for reference purposes. So if people need to work in a similar project in future, they can go to the project library in an organization and look for lesson learned and check where people that have worked in similar projects, the kind of mistake they've made. That will be a reference point for you to learn, so you won't fall into the kind of pit they've fallen in the past. So that's why we need to do that. So we need to understand how to do this because it's very key. So I hope my screen is showing very well.
Yes, it is.
Thank you. Okay. Please help me put yourself on mute so that we can have a cleaner recording. So at the end of this lesson learned, we'll be understanding the importance of lesson learned in the project management, learn how to plan and conduct a lesson learned meeting, and learn how to create a lesson learned document and apply it to a future project. So what is this lesson learned all about? What is lesson learned? The lesson learned meeting is conducted at the end of project or project phase. Like I said, if you want to have it handy by the end of the project, you don't need to start cracking your brain. What did we do on this? So if you are doing it on weekly basis, but if you have a lot of things, so you more, for me, so many projects will have, if I'm not working in agile environment, then if I'm working in waterfall, I used to have it every week as a status meeting, kind of statutory meeting. There's some of the meeting we call statutory meeting, like raid meeting, lesson learned. These are statutory meetings I do have. Some of them you can join it together, or maybe immediately you finish read meeting, you start lesson learn meeting. So in order to capture lesson, because at the end of the project, you need to present all the lesson learned within every phase of the project. So you see here, you see at the end of the project, so you need to do it at the end of the project or project phases. So whichever way, I prefer phases, which at the end of the project, we combine everything we capture within the project phases. So to identify what went well, what could have been improved, and key takeaway for future projects. So we're just packaging this so that people can learn. And everything we are doing today, we are using today, is based on what we learn from other people's mistakes, improved on it, and and the world will continue to evolve. It has to be continuous improvement, and we cannot stop. Importance of lesson learned. Continuous improvement is very, very important. Help improve processes and methodologies for future projects. You know, our project need to get better. The way we manage project, we professionals, is we need to get better. As you that have started your journey as a project manager, is a continuous improvement. You continue to improve on yourself to get better. Just like a project need to, or within the organization, various of their project, if they made a mistake, they wouldn't want to repeat their mistake, and you continue. That's how a project team get matured. And when they get a project team get matured in an organization, a lot of confidence being bestowed on them, and they start handling a lot of things. So is continuous improvement is number one importance of lesson learned. We learn from our mistakes. So knowledge sharing, provide a record of experiences for the organization and the team. It becomes a knowledge base for, experiences. What so many companies are looking for, you apply for a job, you see a job role, they tell you how many years of experience. They are paying you they are buying this your experience, both bad and good experience. They are buying it. So experience means a lot to organization. So that's why so many of you are here. I know so many of you are in this boot camp because they are going to get this experience, which will come into their CV. So experience is very, very important in this project management. So another one is risk mitigation. Identify recurring issues and strategies to prevent them. So want to document lesson learned, some of the recurring events or risks. Over time, develop a sustainable strategy, risk strategy that will make sure that it doesn't happen again, or conduct a root cause analysis to find out why some recurring events keep happening or recurring issues keep happening. And team development, encourage open communication and foster culture of learning. So these are key importance of lesson learned. You can add more, but these are the key ones. Steps for conducting a lesson learned meeting. Number one, plan the meeting. You must plan your meeting. Every meeting must be planned. So we've already talked about meeting, minutes of the meeting, and I'm looking out for subsequent meeting within the groups to see how you guys are planning your meeting, making sure you do the needful in terms of even the minutes of the meeting. So Schedule early meeting. Conduct the meeting shortly after project completion to ensure detail and fresh, ensure that details are fresh. So if you have been doing it if you have been having meeting to capture the documents, you are keeping, when you are doing it within the project phase, is helping you to capture the documents. So immediately at the end of the project, we conduct the main lesson learned, where we document the whole lesson learned and we put it to the project repository or archive. So it should be learned, it should happen immediately after the end of the project. That is the main lesson learned. Then invite stakeholders, include team members, sponsors, and key stakeholders involved in the project. So it's not only for team members, it's for everybody that's participated in that project should be part of the lesson learned meeting. Prepare material, gather project documentation, performance metrics, and feedback form. So these materials are part of the things to show evidence of what went well or what didn't go well, and performance metrics. Number 2, structure the meeting. Welcome and purpose. Start by explaining the objective of the meeting. You need to clearly state why this meeting is very important, and reflect on objective, review the project goals and whether they were achieved. Every project has a set objective when we are starting. Some people will just finish the project and they didn't even know whether they achieved the goal or not. That is one of the reasons you have lesson learned. You have a set goal. At the end of the day, you need to come and check, did I achieve this goal? If you didn't, then you have to know why. So you have to look at the objectives. You need to reflect on the objective to make sure we are honest to ourselves whether we achieved or not. Key discussion areas. Divide the discussion into following categories. What went well? You have to be honest when you are trying to do this, although if you have been doing it, capturing it, documenting it, you are not going to struggle. What didn't go well? What could be improved? And suggestion for future projects. These are the main things. When we are trying to document what went well, you already have metrics of performance and what didn't go well. You know how you guys struggle, areas you struggled. Why did you struggle in such areas so much? If you really had a bad time with the stakeholders, why did it happen? If there's a lot of risk, you didn't manage very well, why? You must tell yourself why. Is it you didn't have enough team members, or is it that the team member? Why? So you have to be honest to yourself. So, and what could have been improved? What could you have done well? You know, so many of us, after writing the exam, you sit down, you remember, if I had a little time, oh my God, I would have, So what would you have done better if you are given an opportunity to handle that project again? So, the areas you could have, done better, things like that. So suggest for future projects. So many of us will see a lot of mistakes we make in life, and when we're advising our younger ones or our children, we always capitalize on, you see, if I'm when I was like you, this kind of thing happened, and I don't want it to repeat again. So So many of us, I didn't go to school because I make sure you. So these are improvements. You are improving on you using your life as a project. You see where things didn't go well. Future project is raising your children and making sure. So many of us users, they see we do lesson learn every day in our life, but we do not even know that we are doing the lesson learn by trying the way we try to mold our children, using ourselves as a case study where we didn't perform. We want our children to perform, we want them to do this one. Is what we call lesson learn, personal lesson learn. You've learned their lesson. And what are the future projects your children? So that you're using this as a case study. So that's how it works. Number 3, facilitate open discussion during the meeting. Encourage honest and constructive feedback. You know, when we're trying to evaluate what went well, if we're not honest, there's no need of having it, you know. So just like we use ourselves, if you really want to use yourself or be honest, or you really want the best for it, you really need to evaluate yourself. Those areas that you become a pain in your mental health because of, then you have to be honest. If you really have good intention for your organization, so that your organization will grow, so that you get promoted. Because when the organization keep growing, there's opportunity for you to grow as organization growing. So you have to be honest. So that's why you have to be honest, so that you will not make mistakes. But if you are not honest, people are not being honest. When, you know, at times people find it difficult to admit their mistakes. They always be arguing. Try, when you make a mistake, admit. You are a better person by admitting that you made a mistake, and you say sorry, than you trying to justify why you made a mistake. There is no justification for that. You can't be right when you are wrong. So we have to be honest when we try to do this lesson learned by constructive feedback as well. Use techniques like brainstorming and anonymous survey to gather input. Brainstorming is good. At times, anonymous survey is when people want to be honest. When people want to talk, because some people might be so, you know, they don't want people to know what. So in order to make sure that people are more honest, we use anonymous survey. Anonymous survey that if you know where you are, nobody knows who is typing. Nobody knows who submitted that. So after typing, you're submitting something like that. We do that a lot during our sprint retrospective. We use anonymous survey. People will just be, you know, pour yourself, but nobody knows who is writing, so that nobody will use it against you, or, you know, you won't feel bad that people are. So use anonymous survey in a situation like this. This will help to get people to be more honest. So ensure all team members have an opportunity to contribute. Yeah, is an area where everybody that participated in that project, you don't look down on people. You know, some suggestion from people you might be the key suggestion. So let there be equal participation. Record number 4, record lesson learned. Assign a note taker or use a collaborative tool to document lesson, to document feedback in real time. So if you have not documented, if there is no phase phase lesson learned, meaning that you have never documented lesson learned within the project phase, then there's need for something like this. But if you have captured it, all you need is just to review it and make it a document. So you need a note taker or use collaborative tool to document feedback in real time. Categorize feedback into actionable items, observation, and recommendations. And then number 5, identify actionable outcomes. Okay, during the because I work a lot in agile environment, during the sprint retrospective, at the end of the sprint retrospective, we'll have actionable items from our sprint. So those areas we need to improve on, we have to immediately working on improving on it immediately. So there should be an actionable, what should we do to improve areas of our weaknesses immediately? There's no procrastination. You must state areas of improvement and actionable. So prioritize lesson learned based on impact and relevance. Assign ownership for improvement. Like we know from the beginning, is a continuous improvement process. So when we identify areas of improvement, it's not going to be just theory, it has to be action. If the company needs to move a step forward based on the lesson learned, then action must be taken. Creating lesson learned documents. Key sections of the document. Number 1 is project overview. 2, successes, challenges, areas of improvement, and action items. Number 1, project overview. Brief summary of the project, including objective, timeline, and key deliverables. 2, success, aspects of the project that went well and contributed to the success. Challenges, issues, and roadblocks faced during the project. Areas of improvement, recommendation for processes or actions to improve in future projects. Actionable items, specific steps to address challenges and enhance performance in the subsequent projects. And our example from the Almighty Food Tracker. Okay, in this expansion project, let's see, number 1 is what went well. Timely stakeholder engagement. Recommendation, use the same communication strategy for future projects. What didn't go well? Delayed integration with local delivery partners. Recommendation, start partnership earlier in future expansions. Improvement areas, insufficient training for new members in the new states. Recommendation, allocate a dedicated training phase for onboarding. Actionable items, develop a standardized onboarding process for expansion. And recommendation, assign training lead for next project. So just something like that, so it can be better, but this is just to give us a snapshot. Okay. Best practice for lesson learned: document continuously, capture insights throughout the project life cycle. Just like I've said, to make life easy for you. From the beginning, you can make it weekly. If it's too, can make it at least twice in a week, but you can do it. Just even if it's a 30 minutes meeting, it's done. So continuous documentation, capture insight throughout the project life cycle, not just at the end. 2, focus on solutions. Highlight actionable recommendations rather than just problems. When you identify a problem, the key point is to, improve on that particular areas of weaknesses. Make it accessible. Lesson learn is a very vital document, and it has helped me a lot in so many projects. Once I want to improve this, I want to start, I'll just start looking for where similar projects, and you see a lot of things areas that would have fallen into a pit, and you see kind of eye openers and make life easy. So make it accessible. Store lesson learned in a centralized location for future reference. It's a very document that should be accessible, shouldn't be hiding it. Apply insights. Ensure lesson learned are integrated into the planning phase of new projects. Of course, the purpose of it is to make sure that, for instance, in this new food truck expansion project, if we are saying, okay, the next phase of our expansion is from Port Harcourt to expand to the rest of South-South, or from Port Harcourt, let's say we're already in the South-South, let's expand to Southwest. And then after Southwest, the next project is now going to be Southeast. So all the lessons learned when we are expanding to Southwest, we are going to apply them to South East. And then while expanding to North, it's going to be a lot easier because we captured a lot of experience. And it's making life easy for project managers. So, activities: conduct a lesson learned meeting for the food tracker expansion project. Participants will reflect on challenges such as slow vendor onboarding and delayed deliveries, and suggest improvements. Conclusively, lessons learned are a critical part of the project management process. They enable team to grow, improve, and deliver better results in future. So by conducting thoughtful lesson learned meeting and documenting insights, organization can foster a culture of continuous improvement and innovation. So yeah, so lesson learned is very powerful. Like I said, we're here today having a meeting globally, everybody in their house, enjoying the comfort of your house, relaxing, having a very powerful meeting. It's based on lesson learned. Lesson learned means continuous improvement. You see, technology advancement, it didn't just happen. It continued to build on it, refine it, and before you know it, education will be, everybody will be on their own. And you'll be a house, and there's no need of going to uni anywhere. This continuous improvement, and it's all of them is out of lesson learned. Keep on learning, continuous learning. So, thank you for paying attention. I didn't receive any noise, and thank you for that. So we have time to ask questions. So if you have any question you want to talk about, if you want to talk about, we can actually do it now. Okay, we'll have Mr. Mustafa.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, Mustafa, how are you?
I'm doing very well, sir. How about you?
Good, good.
Yes, sir. So I don't know if my question is rather too early, but I was just curious. So, during the vendor onboarding stage, is there like what is the requirement for vendors to get onboarded on the platform? Is there like a fee attached to them getting on board? Is there like a kind of discount that is going to be given to them or stuff like that, sir?
You bring this question during requirement gathering session.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Yeah, so the question we want now is based on lesson learned.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah. Yeah, Mr. Isaac.
Good evening, Mr. Charles.
Good evening.
Okay, I know we are mostly on a predictive method, but because you mentioned you've talked about agile and retrospective, that's why I'm asking this question.
Okay.
Yeah, apart from the retrospective, I know there's also a sprint review meeting, which is usually called by the product owner. Sorry, yeah, the project owner, and where the project manager and the team demonstrates what they have done, and the owner could accept or reject, and there could also be lessons in that sprint review. So I am wondering why, if these two are not lessons that can be documented and could be put in the repository for future use, apart from the lessons we are taking from the retrospective, which is the retrospective is mostly between the project manager and his team, and maybe sometime they could bring in the project owner, but mostly between the team and what the errors they did and what they learned, and they could reuse in another sprint or so. So I'm just
I get what you mean. Sprint review is to review the product itself. We are reviewing the product. What we are doing sprint review, what we are reviewing is what you have built. You are testing, kind of. Let me take. You are testing the product. You know, you are testing the product. Whether, for instance, let's use an automobile. You finish building an automobile. You want to test the brake. You want to test the gear. You want to test everything. So the process is different. So you are testing that product, all the features, everything you build, just like a software. You finish building a mobile software. You want to test it. Can it be downloaded from Play Store? Can you sign in? Can you do this? Can you do that? All the requirements you have when you are testing, you have test cases that you use to test. And during that time you are testing it against acceptance criteria. There's a certain criteria you are using. So you are kind of measurement. Does it meet? If it doesn't meet, then you take it back to the developers to redo. So that is what we call review. And at the end of the day, the stakeholders will be watching to make sure that if everything went well, they are seeing it is practical. They are testing it. You are not telling them. They are seeing the work you've done. If they wanted, for instance, using automobile, they want to match a brake and the brake couldn't match. As they are trying to match on the brake, the car keep moving. It's a fault. It's physical. Everybody is seeing it. So if the stakeholders reject it, of course, you can see they are right. Okay, in a software, you are building a software and the company's background color is greenish blue. You know? And the developer used a green color instead of greenish blue. You have deviated from the company's brand. So if they are rejecting it, they are rejecting because this is not our brand. They are not rejecting it because the project didn't, but the product, but in the sprint retrospective, they are looking at the process they used to develop that. So the other one is the testing the product, and the other one is the process. So during that sprint review, that might be the time they can talk about how did we not see this coming?
Okay.
How did we not see that you use different brands? How do we cause this kind of embarrassment to us? How could we have done this? Are you getting it? It's
Yes.
during time, nobody is there, the stakeholders are there, is we. We are now talking to ourselves. Then they say, okay, next time, before we can go for sprint demo, we have to do in-house testing. We have to review, we have to even do code review, do everything to make sure that everything is working so that we don't go out again and embarrass ourselves. Just like you see, so many of you, when you come here to do weekly status reports, I'll be watching some of you be attacking yourself within your platform. You are embarrassment. You come here to embarrass us before Mr. Charles. You know, that is, some of you are doing what you call the lesson learned, but you don't know. So that should be the time everybody's okay because of that, because of this. That is lesson learned. You have learned your lesson. You guys have, caused a gross misconduct before the stakeholders. So it's a big lesson. So when you talk about it, is when people lock yourself inside and you talk about it. Everybody have to be honest. Why did this happen? And it happened all the time. So even in the medical field, you see after a medical surgery, you find out that they left something. I say they left something inside. How can such a thing happen? What are they thinking about? If they after a lesson they go for lesson learned, they would have even some of them will even want to fight. But in lesson learned or sprint retrospective, whatever happened there stays there. At times, some people will even exchange words, but at the end of the day, they will clean the house. It's a house cleaning activity to make sure that the house remains fresh before we go out for another outing or to start a fresh project. Because in sprint is a continuous. You start again immediately. The other one end. That's why this one needs to happen. But in waterfall, if they don't know whichever project you are going to start, you must learn from your past mistakes.
Okay. Yeah, thank you so much. This is noted and that clears me.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Okay. Babatunde Oluwaseyi.
Good evening, Mr. Charles.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Agile and waterfall approach to project management keep reoccurring in the course of this bootcamp. I wouldn't want to ask, what is it about? Because I'm a newbie in this course. The likes of Mr. Isaac, I think it's been into it before now. So I wouldn't want to ask what is it about? So, but I want to ask, if we are still going to delve deeper into these two approaches to project management?
We are coming to for me, that's the last thing I treat: project methodologies or project approach. So the first thing, what we are learning, I want us to learn about project management without looking at methodologies. Although at times there is some word, it's the same thing, but they pronounce it differently. So like this lesson learned, the name is lesson learned, the same thing. But if you go to agile environment, they call it sprint retrospective, but it's the same thing. Okay, if you come to waterfall, project manager is called project manager. If you go to agile environment, there is no project manager in there. They call it scrum master. Are you getting it? So this is areas. So if I'm using some of, if in an environment where some of these, so I just do a quick mention that is the same thing, so that you will. But we're coming to agile environment. Project management have existed for a long time under waterfall, and the world is gradually transiting to agile environment. Agile environment is a later approach after traditional project management. When we talk about traditional project management, is waterfall. We call it traditional or conventional project management. So, and that's why, because agile is a new event, they have a lot of certifications, a lot like, well, Scrum Master, Product Owner, this and that, but they're all within project management. And we are going to talk about it so that we are going to use it to streamline everything about project management so that it will be more, but is like I said, Mr. Isaac is always trying to, jump the gun. Okay, Mr. Stanley Leaf. Stanley, you are
okay. Sorry, it's my mic. Good evening, sir.
Is it Power Mike or Mike Tyson?
I don't know the one I will call it though. It's just my computer. At times it's crazy.
Okay.
But I've handled it. I think I wanted to ask the same question as Babatunde, but let me cut it off because you have already asked the questions. But my concern is I have missed so many classes due to work, so I want to review most of the classes today. So as I go back to
Stanley, don't talk finally.
To our class, I tried to upload the videos. I couldn't find any. I'm like pained. I'm like lost on the way. So I need the classes, last week classes. I couldn't see any. Yes, sir. So I need them to buckle up. I need to, to push ahead so that I can meet others where they are because they're running faster than me now. I want to catch up.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. That is noted. Like I said, at times you have unexpected workload, but it's under control. Like I said, when I was starting, I started uploading. I've uploaded some videos today. So, but before the week, from this night and the rest of tomorrow, we are going to be uploading all the videos and try to onboard everybody so that by Monday, every team should have started calling kickoff meetings. Yeah.
All right, sir. All right, sir.
Yeah.
Got it.
No worries. And every Quinette,
Mr. Charles.
you have the opportunity to talk to me today.
All right, thank you. My question is, what is the other name for lesson learn meeting?
Lesson learn meeting.
Yeah. What's another name with the project management?
Well, like we said earlier, lesson learn, we call it lesson learn in waterfall approach. And if we go to agile approach, we call it retrospective, sprint retrospective.
The approach is retrospective.
Yeah. So, but it's they are the same thing because it's what you the objective is the same thing. It's just for
Okay.
improvement, continuous improvement, to learn our lesson and improve. So that's it. So it's very important topic because it's something, lesson learned is something we apply a lot in our life, not only in projects. We learn from our mistakes. We learn. So thank you, everybody.
You're also referring to lesson learned, right?
What?
That's which you mentioned.
I can't hear you. We are breaking. All right. I think we've captured everything and I've responded to every Quinette. And I think it's time to go to bed. So thank you for joining. And I want to say sorry for late upload. I know a lot of you have programmed yourselves to learn. If I've set you back, sorry about that. We are going to push everything, you know. So thank you, and God bless.
Thank you, Mr. Charles.
God bless
you,
you
Mr.
too,
Charles.
Mr. Charles.
Which Mr. Charles?
Thanks,
And please
Mr.
cover yourself well so that you don't get cold, you don't catch cold.
Yeah.
Happy
And
week.